Hello once again, everybody, and welcome to Hurricane Game Day, presented by Williamson Automotive. I'm your host, Joe Zagacki, and coming up, we'll talk Hurricanes basketball with Katie Meyer and Jim Larinaga. The men and the women are home this week after long road trips. The women were at Louisville and Syracuse, and the men put on nearly 6,000 miles as they traveled to Pittsburgh, Wake Forest, and Cameron Indoor Stadium to take on the Blue Devils of Duke. But first, congratulations are in order to Shakima Wimbley of the University of Miami's track team. Wimbley led the University of Miami track and field program to an impressive finish at the Rod McCravey Memorial Invitational. Wimbley was a sight to see in the women's 400 meter, winning the event with a world-leading time just under 52 seconds. The senior also set a school record and also broke the meet record with her NCAA leading time. Now let's go back to basketball as we take a look at the highlights for the men and the women, brought to you by UHealth Sports Medicine. Will get you back in the game.
What a hell of a job, guys. Sit
Welcome back to Hurricane Game Day, presented by Williamson Automotive. Joe Zagacki, joined by University of Miami head coach Jim Larinaga. Coach, how are you? Good afternoon.
Hi, Joe. Doing good?
All right, I've had 3 long games, three-game road trip. We have a couple of big home games coming up, which we'll talk about here in a moment. But quickly, your reflections on the 3-game road trip.
Well, I thought our trip to Pittsburgh went very well, Joe. We played great and had a 26-point victory. I thought we came back and prepared very well for Wake Forest, but just didn't play well there. Gave up 96 points after giving Pittsburgh 46. That's a 50-point difference in our defense. And unfortunately, that's kind of been the theme this year. We're young and very inexperienced. We make a lot of inexperienced mistakes, and the turnovers then just lead to easy baskets. When we played at Duke, we were very, very good in the first half. We defended well, we rebounded well, we shared the ball on offense. We scored 36 points in the first half, held Duke to 25. But in the second half, we had 12 turnovers leading to 25 points for them. We didn't even get a chance to defend them. They were just scoring before our defense could get back.
Well, there was one thing that did happen on the road trip that you did not mention, and that was in the Pittsburgh game, it was your 600th career victory. Congratulations on that.
Well, thanks, Joe. Yeah, it was something that you just don't talk about, and quite honestly, I don't care about. The number is the number. Well, I don't know why it's like 600 or 500 or what have you. Why isn't it 601 or 552?
I think every time you get to 100, another 100 victories.
Yeah, I know. Well, what's the difference? To me, the joy I have is that I've been able to keep coaching at this a very long time. I want to keep doing it for a long time. I want to keep educating my players and helping them learn and improve. And this has been a tough year so far, and it's getting tougher. You see who we have ahead of us.
Yeah, well, I'm going to talk about that. By the way, here at the University of Miami, we were pleased to celebrate number 500 with you and number 600. And obviously, we hope for number 700, 750, and 800. But that's all down the road. Boston College comes rolling in, and they've got a couple of high-scoring guards.
They actually have a 3-guard combination that probably as good as anybody in the league. Kai Bowman at the point had 33 the other day against Carolina. He had 30 earlier in the season against Syracuse. He's a freshman, playing like a senior all-conference caliber player. Next to him is Robinson, who is a dynamic scorer, fourth leading scorer in the league, and very, very hard to guard at that two-guard spot. And then they have A.J. Turner at the 3, but he's also a guard, can really score, can really shoot, and he's a very good passer. And what I like about Boston College in just evaluating them, their 4 and 5 men really know their roles. They're facilitators. They screen a lot, they pass a lot, they dribble handoff a lot, they play good defense, they rebound the ball. They're power forward, and I'm not sure how you pronounce T-A-V-A, but Tava is really good against zones of catching the ball in the middle of the zone and finding the open man, or finishing the play himself near the basket. So Boston College is much improved. Jimmy Christian, I think, is doing a great job. They have more wins in the league than we do, so we need to get back on the winning track.
Right, it's you got some home games now coming up here. That also includes North Carolina and Florida State, and Carolina comes in on Saturday. Last year, missed winning the national championship by about that much, and really at the end of last year, you played them for the regular season title.
Yeah, last season we didn't play very well at Carolina and still had a chance to win the league if we had won our last game and they had lost theirs. But this year, North Carolina is sitting in first place with only 1 loss. They're at the top of the standings. They're a very, very well-balanced team. And like all Roy Williams teams, they're a tremendous rebounding team. They're the best rebounding team, not only in our league, but one of the top 2 in the country. They offensive rebound like a machine. Part of it has to do with their players, part of it has to do with their offensive schemes. And last year we were not able to defend those big guys in the paint. Hopefully this year we can do a better job.
Well, we got a couple of big games coming up. We can sum it up. Boston College and North Carolina coming in here. You got to make foul shots, a little more patience on offense, right? More ball streams.
Just fewer turnovers.
Fewer turnovers.
Yeah. The things we emphasize to the players every single day from day one is there's one really bad thing you can do on defense. That's foul. If you foul, we can't defend a wide open free throw shooter. And if you foul a lot, you're in foul trouble on the bench, and I don't get a chance to play my best players. And I'll give an example. Anthony Lawrence Jr. the other day picked up 2 fouls early and sat out the rest of the half. And he never got into the swing of things. He ended up, I don't think he scored in the game. In fact, no one on our bench scored. Right. You got to have a deep enough team where if a starter is not having a good game, or even if he is, someone can go in and take his job for a short period of time. And in Anthony Lawrence's case, he had 16 on Wednesday at Wake and then gets shut out. That inconsistency makes it very, very hard if you're in foul trouble all the time and sitting on the bench. So the worst thing you can do on defense is foul. The worst thing you can do on offense, turn the ball over and not even get a shot. And we're turning the ball over too much and we're fouling too much. Really bad combination.
Well, I'll finish where we started. That is, you have 600 wins, and you get to 600 wins when you have a lot of ideas in the idea factory, and you have a plethora of ideas in your factory.
No, yeah, you get 600 wins when you have really good players for a long period of time, Joe. And whether it was during my years at Bowling Green or at George Mason or now here at Miami, just look at the terrific players I've had the great privilege of coaching. You know, Duran Scott and Kenny Kaji and Julian Gamble and Shane Larkin, Trey McKinney-Jones and Angel Rodriguez, Sheldon McClellan, and these guys with Davon Reed, Kamari Murphy, Jaquan Newton, Bruce Brown, Dewan Ewell. This is a fun job to have. Coaching is fun. I love the heck out of it.
All right. A couple of big games this week, Coach. The very best of luck.
Okay, thanks, Joe.
All right, that's University of Miami head coach Jim Larrañaga. Stay tuned as we continue right here on Hurricane Game Day. Welcome back to Hurricane Game Day, everybody, presented by Williamson Automotive. Joe Zagacki, joined by University of Miami women's basketball coach Katie Meyer. And Coach, How you doing? Good afternoon.
Thanks. Doing all right. Doing all right.
All right, another big week of basketball coming up, and you are home.
Yeah.
And up first, the Tar Heels of North Carolina.
Right. And I mean, to get them at home, it's a really big deal. We've been on the road quite a stretch here, and it's nice. They're a very, very talented team. Great guard play. Not as much depth as we have, so that's going to be a real interesting matchup for us. But should be a very athletic basketball game.
It's also being billed as Dutch Night.
Yeah. I got to tell you, that is as creative as our marketing department has gotten. So I'm excited for that. I'm happy for Laura and Amasa. They're just really special kids. And there is a Dutch community here in Miami that is, they're getting involved in this event. So I don't know exactly how this is going to play out, but I'm really proud that the university is that invested in the student athlete, that they wanted those two to feel so special.
And those two are playing pretty good basketball for you. Mesa Hoff worked her way into the starting lineup.
Right. Well, they both did, and it was just because of their consistency. They are very, they have a real great mindset. You know, the highs and lows, the wins, the losses, it doesn't affect them. They're going to show up to work every day and be productive and consistent, and really somebody that you can rely on.
You know, we talk a little bit about your recruiting. You've been able to recruit very well here, been able to recruit internationally as well, so a good blend.
Right, and I mean, when last year's class had the 2 freshmen that are both international, and then this year's class with the 5 that are incoming that are all, from the United States. So it's a matter of what your needs are. Sometimes if you need a ball control point guard or a post who can pick and pop, they're rare to find in America. That's more easy to find overseas. So a Sarah Mortensen and a Mesa Hoff, those are rare finds in America. We needed that blend, so we went and got them. But in this incoming class, we needed to replace the Jessicas and the Motleys, and so we needed some up-tempo, athletic, downhill guards, and we were able to get those closer to home at least.
Can I say you went real American, because they're all candidates for McDonald's All-Americans?
Yeah, boy, that's a heck of a class. I mean, Tia Jackson organized the class, but Coach Blue and Coach Fitz, we assigned recruits to each people, so all of them had really their hands on. But what's happened across the country is our style of play has caught a lot of attention, and our style of play has made us the team that we are. And we've had these guards that have been very electric and you can tell play with passion and have a little bit of freedom in a game. And so when we were selling the guard spots and saying, hey, look what's leaving here, you want to be important, you want to be valued, and you want to be able to make decisions as a freshman, important decisions for your team. We had a lot of people raise their hand. So that was great. Besides the great institution, besides the weather, besides everything else, that really helps. That I hate that we're losing what we're losing, but I do think that we were able to really at least get some insurance for those losses. Have
you ever had a class in your coaching career where all of them are up for McDonald's All-American nominations?
No, we haven't. Shanice Johnson was one, Morgan Stroman was one, and in their classes, like Raquana Williams would have been if anyone knew who she was, but she was so hidden. So, but no, we've never had that. And I mean, that's 5 that they're state players of the year. They were state players of the year as juniors. I mean, we had the state player of the year of New Hampshire, state player of the year of Maryland that were juniors, and now they're seniors that probably get it again. So, and our local player here from Miami Country Day, Kelsey Marshall, is just putting on a show this season. She's having a great season. So we're excited, but that's a year away.
Well, you are presently in a battle in the ACC, but even when you get a recruiting class like that coming in and the players that are leaving, it does send a message to the league that, hey, we're here to stay.
Right. When you walk into summer recruiting, and we had some other commitments locked up already, they would just be like, you got some guards. Like, they just kept saying it. Our players did very well at Nike Nationals, which is the highlight, the showcase event for women's basketball. We had 3 of them that were really showcased in the semifinals, and one of our players won Nike Nationals. So it was a real great class.
All right, after North Carolina, that's going to be a tremendous game at the Watsco Center. Then Boston College rolls in here for a Sunday afternoon game.
Right, and I mean, these are games that completely different style of play between a North Carolina and a Boston College. And as you look at the standings in the league and you look at sort of your resume, what's past you and what's ahead, and we have a chance to get 2 home games that are really going to be important that could turn the season one way or another. So our focus is going to be very strong. But the first test is North Carolina will be one different prep, and then turn around on Sunday in a completely different prep, and probably different starters and different lineups that will work for us. So that's why we're going to dig through our wonderful talent and figure it out.
You've been on the road. You had to go to Louisville. You had to go to Syracuse. Two very tough spots.
Right.
One was very well contested. One you probably want to see a little bit more out of.
Right. No. Yeah. That Syracuse game just got away from us, and really, I didn't really feel. I mean, the score was a little bit, but it did. I felt like we still were on the same page, trying to battle. All the way through, probably the midway through the third quarter, there was communication, there was energy, there was talk, there was problem solving. They had a couple players have career nights, but I thought we could overcome it. You know, we could make some adjustments and stuff. And in the end, it just really spilled away from us, and we became a little bit of an immature basketball club, which did not happen at Louisville. At Louisville, we hung in there, and they tried to knock us out, and we just would not get knocked out. And we talk about 8 rounds, and we got 4 quarters now, and you just split them into halves. And so 1 round, 2 rounds is the first quarter. And, we battled in that last round at Louisville. We were this close to stealing that game, 1 offensive rebound away from stealing that game. And that was a great performance by my team.
Are there any adjustments that you want to make now? We're not quite to the halfway point, but
Right.
closing in on the halfway point of the season inside the ACC.
Well, we've got to the physical presence inside. I think Mesa Hoff, Kiana Hayes, Erica Davenport, Kayla Prather. Like, it's nice to be able to say all those names, and we've got to consistently go to that. I think teams are trying to take Motley and Thomas away. They're trying to push us off, the 3-point line and kind of take their vision away. And I do believe that the inside-out game is going to be what pushes us through this next run.
Is this the fun part of the season? I know it's awfully a hard grind,
right,
for everybody involved. But as you just mentioned, now the other teams are adjusting to you.
Right.
So now the chess match is really on.
Absolutely, and because the league is so good, because we have so many ranked teams, because I believe we could have 10 in the NCAA tournament. I'm not even stretching. I'm not even being like a public relations person. Like, I look at 10 teams and I go, wow, they're all really NCAA caliber. So because it's so good, you can look at it as a daunting task or just a plethora of opportunity. And we need some opportunity wins right now. We need to go get some. So they're going to be in front of us, and it's up for us to go get them.
All right, Coach, the very best of luck. Up next for the Hurricanes, North Carolina and Boston College, 2 big home games at the Watsco Center. And we'll continue with Hurricane Game Day right after this. Welcome back to Hurricane Game Day, presented by Williamson Automotive Group. Okay, a big week coming up for the University of Miami men and the women as they continue their pursuit of the NCAA tournament. Let's take a look at the upcoming events. It is a double dose of Boston College and North Carolina this week. First, the men will take on Boston College Wednesday at 9 o'clock at the Watsco Center. On Thursday, it's Dutch night as the Hurricanes women will take on North Carolina at 7 o'clock. And then on the weekend, the men face the Tar Heels 1 o'clock Saturday afternoon, and then on Sunday afternoon, the women take on Boston College. Next week, as we put the Periscope up, Florida State rolls into town on February the 1st. That is also National Signing Day, and the women go on the road to take on Wake Forest at 7 o'clock against the Demon Deacons. You can check hurricanesports.com for all of the information. Also, coming up down the road, a very important and successful event for the University of Miami will be the celebration of women's athletics. That's coming up, the 3rd annual celebration of women's athletics on Sunday, February the 12th at 11:30 a.m., followed by the Hurricanes in Clemson at 2 o'clock. You can see the information there for tickets or go to hurricanesports.com. And next week, Deputy Athletic Director Jen Strawley will join us on the show to talk more about the celebration of women's athletics. Thanks so much for joining us. Also, thanks to Jim Larinaga and Katie Meyer. We'll see you next week right here on Hurricane Game Day, and go Canes.